Show. Listen, we have a great show lined up for you. I'm your host, Kim Jacobs, better known as the Balance Doctor. And all of our guests that come on, they're either people that have overcome some tremendous odds in their own lives as they balance this thing called life, or they're experts and they're here to share tips and strategies that will help you better balance and manage your life. Grab your virtual seats and let's get ready for some real relevant and relatable content on today's episode of the Kim Jacobs Show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Kim Jacobs Show. How are you, Kimberly?
I am fine, Kim. How are you?
I am doing wonderful. My namesake, who have both the same name, Kimberly. It's a pleasure to meet you, Kimberly.
You as well.
And I can tell I already absolutely love your spirit. And I was doing some research and stuff on you. I was like, I watched one of your interviews actually recently. I was like, that was a great interview with this gentleman that was in Africa.
Polly, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was great. You seem really down to earth and inspiring is what I felt.
Oh, good. Good.
But anyway, I'm so glad that you're here today. And everyone that's here, I hope that you all, any of you that have been mothers out there, and even if you don't physically have children, I pray that you know that you are still valued as a mother figure to someone in this earth. So as we've celebrated Mother's Day weekend, just this past weekend, I know right now you may be watching this episode and it may be a repeat episode. If that's the case and it's not the weekend after the weekday after Mother's Day weekend, then just know you're watching a replay, okay? But happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers that were celebrated this weekend. Are you a mom over there? Are you a mom, Kimberly?
Oh yes, I am a mom. That was all a part of writing this book.
Right.
Invisible but Powerful.
Well, you all are going to hear a lot more about this book, that Invisible but Powerful. And she's going to be sharing with us some deep background of information that and experiences that she's personally gone through to be able to become who she is today. That's what this whole show is about. It's how we balance our lives and be able to help other people maybe find a missing piece of the puzzle that might be missing in their lives. So by having Kimberly here today, that missing piece may fit in perfectly for you. So grab your virtual seats, everyone, and know that we're going to have a fantastic time learning about Kimberly M. Kiner, who grew up with a passion for science until a transformative encounter with God unveiled something. And I'm going to let her say what it unveiled. And for over 25 years, she worked in the pharmaceutical industry. I knew we had something in common because I worked in the pharmaceutical industry too for many years, Kimberly. Yeah. While also dedicating herself to serving God as a writer, a Sunday school teacher, and a host of women's ministries.
Mhm.
Recently, Kimberly has channeled her diverse experiences into entrepreneurship, and she is the founder of IBP Companies, LLC, which she founded in 2023. So we're going to learn more about IB Ministries and all of her multifaceted career as well. And I cannot wait for you to get to know this young lady. Welcome to the Kim Jacobs Show, Kimberly.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Kim.
Well, tell us, if you don't mind, what was your Mother's Day weekend like? Let's start there first.
Well, it actually started out Friday. I went to my goddaughter's graduation. She graduated from Stockton University here in New Jersey. So I drove down to Atlantic City and had a great time with her, and then with her and her family, and then stayed over. I stayed the night at the Regatta. Beautiful, beautiful
What do you
hotel.
look like you're vacation?
I had a massage and a facial, and really treated myself. This is something that I do traditionally every year for Mother's Day. My request is always to be alone, to be by myself, to take time and treat myself. And that's what I did this year. And then I came back on Saturday. My husband had a surprise for me, and it was actually a comedy marriage show
Okay.
at a liquid church. And
Where
it
are you
was
located?
um it was up there in I've never been there, but it was like around the Parsippany area,
Okay.
um in New Jersey, further up north. And it was Michael Jr. I don't know if you've ever heard of Michael
Oh
Jr.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
We were there to see him and his wife,
Okay.
and they were talking about marriage.
Nice, nice. So you had a great time relaxing and then laughing. Everything
Right,
good for the soul, right? Some good
right,
laughter, and then also, whoosh.
right. And then yesterday, Mother's Day, um, I went to see. It was like all the mothers getting together. My mother-in-law, my mother is no longer with me, so I really gravitated to my mother-in-law. She's such a loving person. Um, and then we went over to my sister-in-law's house, and her mother-in-law had a birthday in addition to Mother's Day. So we were all there
Oh,
celebrating with her and with all the mothers. So it was a nice time.
that is awesome, awesome, awesome. I had a great time as well. I had an opportunity. My children surprised me with some things that I really wanted. I kind of
Oh,
I
nice.
wanted them, and I was like, "Oh yes, I got them!" So I was excited about that. And
Nice.
one of the things that they had did for me, they knew it involved a friend as well that I would need. I don't really want to do it by myself, so I was like, "What am I gonna do?" They were like, "Oh, mom, we're gonna take care of you and your friend." I was like, "Oh." I'm not even gonna
No,
reveal what it is.
very
I told
nice.
my friend that my friend's going, so I was so excited. I'm super excited. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. The fact, when you have adult children, primarily adult children, uh, for them to still have some level of thought about you as their mother in that regard is just, it's very rewarding. And I'm grateful.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I've learned it's like, okay, sometimes I guess when you have younger kids,
Right.
when you have the teens, it's a little different because they're like, yeah, yeah, happy Mother's Day. But as they get older, they start to appreciate a little bit more, especially when they're out on their own.
Yeah.
And I'm not there yet.
Okay.
So
I have a
it's
26-year-old. Can you believe I have a 26-year-old that came out of my body? To me, I'm so serious, Kimberly. That is overwhelming to me to know that could even be possible. I have 5
Mhm.
children, but to have 5 children
Wow.
come from your body, and
Mm, mm.
that is nothing but short of amazing to me that God would even allow a body to do something like that, you know?
That's the beauty of women. That's the
Yeah,
beauty of women.
absolutely.
Wow,
And
and you have
anybody in
5.
the audience, y'all talk to and tell us your experience and how you feel about motherhood and how you feel about giving birth out of your body to all of these
Mm.
kids, right? So talk to us in the studio audience as well. If you had any special things happen during your Mother's Day that you want to share with us, please feel free to put them in the comments section. Okay, let's talk. Let's talk about being invisible. That is a powerful word because that means a lot of things. So tell me what invisible means to you.
Invisible just means not seen. I mean, that sums it up. It's not being seen.
And
That's my definition.
you felt that in your life specifically.
I definitely felt that in my life. I think I felt it more after kids. I don't know if that's something that you felt, Kim, but it's, and I don't mean invisible like no one sees you, but you kind of don't see yourself because it's like you're doing everything for everyone else. You're tending to the kids and their needs, you're tending to your husband or your partner, their needs, and it's like, what am I doing for myself? I'm doing absolutely nothing for myself. So I'm fading into the background and I'm becoming more and more invisible to myself.
Oh,
So
I'm glad you said
not
that.
And that doesn't even count becoming invisible in corporate America
Right.
and the pharmaceutical, where as an African American woman,
Yeah.
you have that glass ceiling. It does exist.
That's right.
The glass ceiling exists, and you become that invisible person unless you break through that glass.
Mhm.
You need to become unseen. You need to become seen,
That's right.
but know that the power within you is will allow you to become seen.
Okay, you said, you know what? That's its own show. Have you ever felt invisible? That's like a whole
Yes,
episode. And
it
so,
is.
in the studio audience, if you all have ever felt invisible, please share an instance where you felt like Kimberly
Mm,
just talked about it from the perspective of being in pharmaceutical sales. And because I was in pharmaceutical sales, I 100% can relate
mhm.
to you. I would go into the meetings and I felt like I'm a strong leader. That's first of all why you even hired me on the
Right.
spot. I was hired on the spot for the job, right? So you already acknowledge and recognize my leadership qualities. But then
Mhm.
for some reason, when you get into this whole massive conglomerate of a company, Fortune 500, it can kind of start messing with you a little bit. You're like,
Right.
okay, it's game time.
Right. Exactly.
And you don't
Exactly.
want to be in that mode, but what was your experience in the pharmaceutical industry?
Well, I wasn't in the sales, but I can just imagine how that was. Uh, I was more of the well, first of all, my roots are FDA. So I'm a former FDA investigator.
Right.
So after that, after becoming an investigator, so many opportunities became available in the pharmaceutical medical device arena.
Mhm.
But and I thought that having that experience would catapult me to so many so many other opportunities, bigger opportunities, director, VP. But I now do auditing. I work in the quality group,
Okay.
and but I also do my own, training. I also train with my own company on the side that helps people to be ready in for FDA inspections.
Okay.
So I realized that I'm like, wait a minute, you know, regardless of the experience that I have, that means nothing, because the people that are being hired or people that I'm training and are now over me
Mhm.
have less experience. That's where the invisibility starts to come in,
Mhm.
because it's like you're not really seeing me for who I am, and I think where this book came in is it's like once you tap into yourself, once you tap into what God has already given you from the very beginning, you start to know who you are
Mhm.
and not be bothered by it, but know that the opportunities will come as God allows it.
That's you hit the nail right on the head right there. As God allows the opportunities,
Right,
what's for you is for you, and so
right.
it doesn't, and it's hard for somebody to be taught that. If you don't get that,
You're right,
it's
exactly.
it's it's like whoop, it's over. It can be over your head because then it kind of determines how you behave in life.
Hmm.
If you know that I can relax, what God has for me is for me, and I don't have to go and fight every single battle. I don't have to do that
Right,
because at the end of the day, whether it's in pharmaceutical sales, whether it's in your family, whether it's in ministry, whether it's in professional organizations, what God has for you is for you. Period.
amen. Very, yeah,
So being
absolutely.
invisible, you're not invisible, not to God.
But that's the key, is you're not invisible to God, but you have to tap into God to see that.
Tapping into that source. That's
Right,
correct. Because
exactly,
other than that, you're gonna always have that feeling of never good enough.
exactly.
You can't help but feel that way if you don't have anything that you're connected to that's like this is my strong tower. This is what I stand on. I
Hmm.
stand upon this rock and I am rooted and grounded in this. And
Right,
so anything else is like it is what it is. It's a sinking sand, whatever. Let it go on
right,
about its business because
exactly.
to me it's gonna stick.
Exactly. And that's why in the book I said unleashing,
Mhm.
because it's already there. You
Yeah.
just have to unleash the peace, power, protection. Everything that you're looking for is already inside that God has already given you. It's already
That's
there.
actually today's episode, everybody. Let me put that up here. That today we are talking about invisible but powerful, unleashing peace, power, and protection from within. It's not about finding it from everybody else and exterior affirmation and confirmation or at all. That's not what it's about. It's about knowing that from within you have these inner strengths that God has already equipped you with. So, yeah, I love it. I love it. Okay, so you said being invisible, even from a family perspective, big becoming a
Right.
mom, and ev- describe that a little bit more.
Well, my older son is he was a special needs, um ADD, dyslexia. He had a number of issues going on. And I always say when you have having a special needs child, it kind of multiplies into more than one child. It's like having two and three children
Yeah.
at one time, because of the time that it takes and the issues that come with it. And I spent a lot of time. He was my older son. He was my first. And I spent so much time just trying to mold him and trying to be there and care and deal with all of the issues that were coming, you know, coming at us from schools, from starting from daycare on up to school. And it's continuing.
Mhm.
But I think it's just different for me now because of the book. But
Yeah, you wrote a
I
book on it. You know how somebody be like, I got a T-shirt for it. I wrote a book on it. So you are the expert now. You've kind of mastered some of this.
I
That's
don't know. I don't know about master. I think I'm still growing in this. But I'm still
always.
learning. But I started to put too much into him,
Mm.
and I had a second one, and I'm like, okay, where do I keep the balance? It's just like what you're saying. Your show is about bringing balance to the world, and that's where I was starting to get unbalanced with my marriage, and I focused on the kids. And I found out through the women's ministry, through this substance abuse ministry that I was a part of, that I wasn't alone in this.
That's right. That's right.
And that's where I started to feel invisible, where I wasn't even taking care of myself. I was just taking care of everyone else.
Wow. Well, I'm glad you're saying this because so many people that are watching today, you may find yourself in this same picture that was just painted. And many times we know that we really can't take care of anyone else without first taking care of ourselves. So we often hear the airplane analogy. We also hear, putting the mask on first before you can help, because you can't help anybody if you passed out, period. You're not going to be able to help anybody else. And you are
Right.
passed out, and your child needs you to be awake and aware so that you can assist the child if that's the case in that situation.
Exactly.
Even,
And you
yeah,
know what's so funny, Kim, is that when I was travel, I do travel a lot as an auditor,
yeah,
but I was like, how selfish is that? When I used to hear that message, I'm like, why wouldn't you take care of your child first?
right.
That's how that's how invisible I was.
No, but I mean, every parent, any parent that has ever heard those instructions, I'm sure we all have felt like, I'm taking care of my baby first because I'll
Right.
let myself die before I let my baby die. That's
Right.
normal thing to me too. But when
Right.
you learn the truth, you walk therein, because the truth
That is
is
true.
you cannot
That
help
is true.
the child if you passed out. And you like the child, like, Mom, I need you. Like, I can't help you, I can't even help myself.
Right. Right. And that's what my husband, he had, and he's a great man. He put it all in perspective. He's like, if you're not here to take care of yourself, we're a goner. It's no good if you're not taking care of yourself.
That's
So that's where the book came in. And if you look behind me, there's like this little reed diffuser.
But
It's
I'm gonna put the book up here for you too.
oh, okay.
Thank you.
Oh,
There.
yep. Mhm.
Invisible but Powerful: A Woman's Devotional Guide to Unleashing Peace, Power, and Protection from Within. That looks so serene. I love just the tranquility of just the imagery itself. All right, so talk to us
Nice.
about this book.
I just had to take a pause for a second. Um, it it took it took 10 years to write. Um, it all started one the roots of the book is being a host of a substance abuse ministry called Reach Beyond the Break. Initially, it was a co-ed ministry with men and women, but what we found, and actually what the director found, is that there were more men sharing than women because men kind of took over. They had so much to share. Women, once again, we're fading in the background,
It's like I
and
won't talk
we
about that.
right, and we're silent. The women were they were just silent. So the director was saying, why don't we have the women separate from the men,
That's fair.
and you take charge? I'm like, no. What are you talking about? No,
I'm good. I'm invisible. Remember,
I'm
I'm
just
not
a
there. I
member.
raise my hand and say, "I'll
Right.
do it."
I'm not a minister. I'm not. I'm just a member. I don't know.
We
But
all have ministry in us, by the way. So there's not just a member out there, not just a member. Everybody is in ministry. Go ahead.
I'm learning that now, Kim. But yes, I had to do it because actually, what he didn't know before he asked me is that God was already dealing with me before, and He had me studying certain scriptures for the ministry, and I'm like, why am I doing this?
Hmm.
I'm doing it because you're telling me to do it, but I don't understand. But that was why. That was
Interesting.
why. So we the women met separately, and that's when we started to release a lot more than drug addiction, because a lot of them were already recovered. They were recovering from that, or they recovered already. They were healed. So it was about substance. I mean, it was about not just substance abuse, but it was about abuse, physical abuse.
Everything.
It was about betrayal. It was about molestation, suicide. So we started to uncover a lot more once we peeled through that onion. We peeled through the layers, and that's some of the stories in the book is talking about these women.
Interesting. And I wonder, and you might be able to help me with this, especially since you've led the ministry and then also have written a book.
Yeah.
What do you think is the major deterrent for women being able to share some of their traumatic experiences?
Well, I can just go by experience and say, because I have some of my stories in the book.
Mhm.
Um, you don't want to be vulnerable.
Of course.
For me, especially as a Christian woman in the church, you don't want to put yourself out there when you're already viewed as something else.
Mhm, mhm.
Um, and I kind of kept to myself. I was very private. Um, most people didn't even know what I did as a career,
Okay.
but I just kind of kept things separate. But this writing my story made me vulnerable, and I didn't want to share it. And I think that's part of why it took me so long, because I wasn't willing to share my stories.
Interesting. And what part of your story do you feel was the story, the story that was like, oh, this about this it? I ain't dealing. I'm done. I'm going to turn things around as a result
Oh,
of that particular story. Because I know there are multiple stories in
there
there.
are multiple
Y'all
stories.
need to get the book. Get the book because there's some deep stories in there. Okay, but
Mm, the one that the Lord was telling me to read at the book launch, and I said no. I don't want to read it. I don't want to read it because I know if I read it, I'm going to start bawling. And I don't want people to see that. I don't want to see this not It's not coming out my nose as I'm as I'm crying.
You want to see people see us be humans, right?
Right, right. But the one story was suicide. Suicidal but powerful. That was my story. And it was actually really relevant to Mother's Day weekend because I lost my mother. And it was, I don't know, it kind of brought those feelings. I As a teenager, I had, those suicidal moments, and I my attempts, but all the attempts were failed. And I realized, I think, at the third attempt, and I wrote it in the book, that there must be a purpose for me living. So, but when my mother passed away, and it's actually has been 20 years now, but it just seems so fresh. Um, when
On
she
Mother's
passed
Day.
away, that's when those feelings came back. And I talk about that in the book. And that was the story that I said, it took me a long time to even start it. Mother's Day was a very emotional, it's still emotional. It's not as emotional as it used to be.
Right.
But I even looking at your post, Kim, and looking at your mom, seeing your mom, your beautiful mom there, I'm like, oh, they look like twins. But I'm like, it's a treasure. It's like, treasure the moments with your mother,
Yeah, I agree.
because it's, you're not gonna have it always. Just
That's right.
treasure them.
I did, and yeah, that's yeah. I was looking here on your Facebook page actually. I wasn't sure which one of these pictures is your mom, but I was seeing some.
Oh, I don't have pictures of my mother on
Yeah, I was
on
gonna say
my
I don't see a
Facebook
picture of your
page.
mom. I was looking at all of the different beautiful pictures of
It
all
was,
of them.
yeah, it was 20 years ago, and I don't know. I don't even do the whole rest in peace. I don't do that.
Right.
One thing I do, and I will do this after the show. One thing I do every year is I go to the gravesite um, on Mondays. I always do it on Mondays because Sundays is just crazy.
Hmm.
But I go to the gravesite and I visit her, and I write. I do things. Have her flowers. My grandmother is there. My great grandmother is there, so I visit all of them. And I have my time, have my journal, start writing, and then I
So you're
visit.
inspired by being in that environment with your mom.
Yes, it's
Wow.
very peaceful, very peaceful.
What advice would you give women that are watching today that have their moms here? Because there's a couple of more
Mm.
questions I have pertaining to just this.
Mhm.
That have their mother still here on this earth. And I heard you say cherish each moment. Any other advice you would give people? Because so many people have issues with their parents.
They
And
do.
it's like, are you kidding me? You would let life go by at that level and have a rip between you and your parent if you don't have to. Why? But I may
Right.
not be seeing it properly. So help.
Besides, I've already said cherish the moment. One is learn how to forgive. You gotta learn how to forgive. I didn't have the best childhood growing up. Um, and it was my mother. I mean, I even dedicated this book to her. Um, she wasn't the most loving person, but she loved in a different way. I'll just say it that way. So you're not gonna may not have the perfect life, but like I say, cherish the fact that she gave birth.
That's
She gave birth to you. She My mother did the best that she could with what she had.
that's
And it may not have been someone else's love. When you see how someone else's mother is treating their child, but this is how your mother is loving you.
that's right.
That's her way of loving you. And you don't I had to find out through talking with my mother that she had difficult childhood.
That's right.
So she didn't know how to show love because she didn't receive that love. She didn't know how to say, I love you. And it wasn't until later, before she passed, that we started saying, I love you. I love you. Because that's what my mother in law, she's such a loving person. And I had to learn from the in laws on how to love because I wasn't raised that way. So, yeah, cherish the moment, learn how to forgive. Not only learn how to forgive her, whatever happened in your life, but
Mhm.
learn how to forgive yourself.
That's good. Great advice. Great
And
advice,
that's
Kimberly.
all in the book.
Yeah, these are all nuggets right from this book that you all can get a copy of. And we're going to be putting up how you can actually get your copy, Invisible but Powerful. And it's a woman's devotional guide. You can just hear in Kimberly's voice how soothing her writing style would be. I mean, so
Mm.
there are some people when you can hear their the continents, the aura that comes pouring through your pores is what I feel so soothed
Nice.
by you. So I'm excited to be able to even share how people can get this book. Let me put this here. I'm gonna copy and paste it so I can put it in the link for you all. And that way you'll know exactly where to go and purchase this book. It's right here in the comment section for everyone. And then I do see a comment over here. Let me put my glasses. 236 Psalm, and you says, I am enjoying this dialogue. May God bless all women who appear invisible,
Mm.
but they're powerful. Love the book, sis. So this is one of the
Mm.
actually have your book. Encourage other people to get this book as well, and even gift it to a woman that you think would benefit from a devotional guide that could really transform their lives. So you don't want to miss the opportunity to gift someone this book, Invisible but Powerful. If you are dealing in your women's ministry in church, you're a pastor, a pastor's wife, and you're watching this, imagine being able to have a discussion surrounding being invisible but powerful, and then bringing in author Kimberly Kiner to be able to close that discussion out. It would be a powerful situation for your ministry, your congregants, parishioners. They would truly benefit from this. So we talked about being invisible. Okay. So I want to make sure, let me put this up here. Tell me what this is here.
Oh. Oh, well, this I can say that this is the start of my the self-care line.
Ah,
This was like one of my very like my first shows. This was at the YMCA. They were having a heart health, it was in February, it was Heart Health Month. And the reason why I started this is called Inner Beauty and Peace. It's still IBP, but it's Inner Beauty and Peace.
inner
Is
beauty and peace. That's some good
yes,
stuff.
it comes from it stems from the book. It's about taking care of yourself. And I started out with reed diffuse. First of all, I started out with fragrances.
Let me
So
put that
I
back.
even though chemistry was not my best subject, um, I enjoy blending different fragrance oils to make a nice oil. And that's where I have love and roses, I have lavender oasis. So I have different types of fragrance oils there. And I make a new fragrance every month.
That's
So you see the one with the black sticks. It's
yes.
also behind me. That
Okay.
one is called Empowerment, and I made that for Women's Month.
Wonderful.
Hmm.
And so you come up with different themes and things that
I
make this
come
more
up.
beautiful.
I've actually made the 12 fragrances, but I haven't released them. I release them once a month.
Oh, okay, okay. Let me see. What is this? This is you. Sign.
Oh yes, this was my book launch. It was actually the book launch was the day after my birthday. And I didn't plan it that way. I think it was at the Rutgers Club, my alma mater. So that was the only day they had available.
How ironic, right?
So I'm like, okay, I'll take it. I'll take it. And that was that was me signing the books at the end of the book launch.
That's good. Good. And
Mhm.
I see some more pictures back here.
Oh, yes.
Y'all
These
cracking up, having a ball. That lady in black and gold, you can't tell her. She's straight at a comedy club. That's a perfect
these
picture.
yes, this is these are the collaborators. It wasn't just me, it's not all just my stories. This was at the launch. Um I and this was actually 4 years into writing the book
Wow.
that I asked people to help me to write and to write their story. And these are the stories that came out of the book. So those are the like the primary collaborators that helped me to write the book.
Excellent. And actually, TL Still, welcome TL, says the book launch was amazing, emotional and
Oh,
empowering.
my line sister.
Aw. And what sorority might that be?
Oh, Sigma Gamma Rho.
Sigma Gamma Rho. Well, Delta Sigma Theta.
Oh,
All right, all right. So let's see. What other picture? We have so many pictures, some good stuff back here. Oh, here's a picture. Talk to us about
oh, yes.
Miss New
That
Jersey.
was yeah, with Miss New Jersey. That was at the Y again. She came to visit and she was enjoying, she really loved the Love and Roses fragrance.
Oh,
So as she kept coming to my booth, she signed up and everything. She kept coming and smelling and because I have, samples.
oh yeah, some good stuff over there.
Yeah, and the Lord was like, just give it to her.
Aw.
And I'm like, what? No, I'm here to make money.
So you done got out of being invisible. You like, "Oh, wait a minute, Lord, I ain't invisible no more."
But I'm like, okay, it's always things I don't want to do.
Right.
But I did give it to her and she was so ecstatic. She shared it on her Instagram. I'm like, oh, that's free advertising. So that's what that picture was. She was just
Awesome.
so happy to receive it.
So in writing a book, because a lot of times when people are becoming authors, they're trying to
Mhm.
determine how to get their footing. Any words of advice or encouragement, especially when you have collaborators with you? Any advice on where to begin in that process?
Mm. Well, I'm a planner. I'm definitely a planner. So I have deadlines of I gave everyone a deadline and people were meeting the deadlines. I was the one that was the procrastinator. So everyone was done but me and that's because I didn't want to write my stories.
Interesting.
I didn't want to be vulnerable because I knew I was going to go down a rabbit hole and I was going to start crying and I'm like it took years. It took years for me to just say, okay, let's just do this. So that's what I encourage people. Just do it.
Just
Just
do
do
it.
it.
Somebody
Like
type that in the comments section. Just do it. Just do the work and go ahead and get it done. Don't worry
just
about
do it.
crying and because I say that easily, like it's just flowing off my tongue, but I'm the exact same way. I'm like, oh gosh, I can't tell that part of the story because that impacts
Right.
the person. That's not their story per se. That's not their version. What is it going to seem like if I say this? So there's so many different facets before you can just put some pen to paper.
Right. And I think what's important is know that there's healing and there's release in your writing.
Yes, there is.
So I did feel better. I didn't feel better reading it, but I felt better writing it. So
Very good. Okay, so just know that it's a process
it is
and
a
just do
process.
it. Get started and see what the end's going to be. Is
See
kind
what
of
the
what
end's
I
gonna be. See where the end's gonna be because there's healing there's healing in it.
there's so much healing in writing.
It
I've
is.
yeah, I've written a book and then I've collaborated on multiple books that are bestsellers as well. And
Mm,
in every single one is a different piece of my heart that I pour into
right.
that particular writing or that work or that anthology, and is some deep stuff that starts to be revealed even within me that I didn't even know existed until I was writing about it.
Exactly. Exactly. That's the whole part of unleashing. Yes.
Yeah, because some things I never even thought I even had those thoughts. But then in attempting to get the deadline met for an anthology or something, I'm like,
Hmm.
wow, this isn't just something as a to-do or assignment that I'm doing, but this is my heart. This is my heart being
Yes.
put on this page,
Yes.
you know?
It's personal. It's
Yes.
personal.
Interesting.
But know that God is always with you.
Oh,
He's there. Like, it's okay. Let's go. Let's do this. It's
I got
okay.
you. I got you.
I got
Move
you.
it on along, baby.
Hmm.
Gotta get
Hmm.
started sometime, right? I still have so many books, multiple books that I have written, and I've shared about 50 or 60 pages with a friend or two. And they're like, Kim, you have to get this out. I'm like,
Yes. Yes, you do.
and I don't sometimes, and you tell me if this is the case with you, Kimberly, or if anybody that you know,
Mm-hmm.
that I don't want to put some work out there because it's like, time I put that out, it's gonna be another piece to it that was supposed to have went in there. I thought,
Uh, yeah. Yeah. This book was supposed to be it's a 52 week. I mean, 52-week book. It was supposed to be a
Uh,
365. I was supposed to be writing 365 lessons. And my husband's like, just get it done.
just do
Let's
52 weeks,
just
just get it
just
out.
let's just let that be the next book. Let's get this done. It's
That's
been
so
10
good.
years.
Good advice, husband, right? He's cheering you on. He's like, sweetie, just we can do the other later.
He would not only cheer me on, but I was obligated to meet with him every week and
Oh,
give an update. He's a business person, so yeah, I had to meet with him every week and give an update on how far I was along and where how much more I had to go
well,
until
talk
I.
about that for a minute too, if you don't
Mm,
mind,
mm.
because working with your spouse and being accountable to each other, even in business, that to me just moves mountains right there.
Yes, absolutely.
Talk about it.
I should have posted a picture of me and him.
Yes. Okay, well, I'm gonna
But
take a commercial break. I'm gonna take a commercial break. When we
okay.
come back, so email me just email me to the email, and I will get the picture of your family or who your husband or whatever you want to put up. And because I know you were saying you're so private, I was looking, I was like, hey, find no pictures. I'm trying to find all these pictures on Facebook. So go ahead and send it to me. But we're going to take
Okay.
a quick commercial break, everyone. We are talking with Kimberly today, Kimberly Kiner, and she is talking about being invisible, but being powerful and unleashing that peace, power, and protection from within. And also to be able to purchase the book, you can definitely visit the link that I put in the comment section. But for those that are audio podcast listeners, you can go to Amazon and get your copy as well by Kimberly Kiner, Kiner. And I'll put the book image back up so you all see exactly what you're looking for if you're going over there to Amazon. This is what the book is: invisible but powerful. All right, everybody, we're going to take a quick commercial break. I'm enjoying this conversation so thoroughly, and I don't even feel like I'm working. I feel like I'm relaxed. I'm
Oh,
enjoying.
that's good.
Yes, you're soothing me over here with your wellness philosophy, self-care philosophy. All right, everybody, we'll be right back. Hi, I'm Kim Jacobs, the Managing Director of the Charlotte, North Carolina chapter of eWomen Network. I am so excited that you stopped to watch this video. I've got good news for you. You've just discovered an international network of women entrepreneurs who are committed to helping you achieve, succeed, and prosper. We're on a mission here to help 1 million women entrepreneurs each achieve $1 million in annual revenue. Here at eWomen Network, we have a complete success system that supports you every step of the way in building and growing your business. You being here right now is no accident. We're supposed to know about you. We want to meet you to find out
how we can help you as well as learn about what you have to offer. With over 500,000 women connected through 118 chapters across the United States, Canada, Australia, and the United Kingdom, you are never alone. If this is resonating with you, please go to ewomennetwork.com/Charlotte. Notice too my contact information. I invite you to reach out to me and to check out our upcoming in-person and online events. I'm really looking forward to introducing you to our special community.
All right, everyone. Yes, we have our events with eWomen Network. I'm the managing director in Charlotte, but it's 118 chapters around the country. So if you're a business entrepreneur and you would like to learn more or become a part of eWomen Network, then definitely reach out to me, ewomennetwork.com/Charlotte. And if you're in the Charlotte area, come to our events. We'd love to have you. We have them at the Charlotte Museum of History, and we have a great time building each other's businesses up. All right, so I did find this wonderful picture. Talk to us about your Boaz.
Well, it has been, I think this year, 27 years of marriage. He has been my rock since college. We met in college, blind date.
A blind date. Okay.
Yeah, blind date. It was more of, oh, hey, this person, we through a mutual friend we met. He was actually Iota, and he was boyfriend of my soror. So he's like, oh, I think this person would be nice for you. You're nice, he's nice. And I'm like, I'm not interested. I gotta focus on getting out of school.
Okay.
But yeah, once we spoke, it was just amazing. And he helped me like excel in college through teaching me about study techniques. I mean, he was just amazing. He has always been my motivator, and it continues to be that way 27 years later.
Congratulations. Congratulations. So what
Thank you.
advice do you give people when they're working with their spouse?
Working with their spouse, I think it depends on the person that you have. I think it depends on the spouse. We have always worked as a dynamic duo from planning our wedding. We just work together. That's how we are. So I think first and foremost, keep God in the center, because if God is not in the center, there would be chaos.
You better believe
And
it.
and that's how we've always started a meeting with prayer. It's something that we have to keep God in always, so that the peace is there, so that God is speaking to both of us and we're getting ideas. And he's more the creative person, he's the arts, he's the music. I'm more of the science and logic. So I always say we're like, the left and the right brain come together and one make a whole brain.
That's so good. So good. Okay.
Yeah. So I think, like I say, to work well, keep God in the center, but it also depends on the type of spouse that you have.
Good advice. And like you said, the right part of the brain and the left part of the brain collide, and y'all make the whole brain. I hadn't heard that before, so I really love that, because
That's
really
the
you're not alike, if that makes sense either.
No, we're not alike.
The opposites really did attract in your case, right?
Yes. The one thing that worked was God just bringing us together. And it's truly, it hasn't been, heavenly all of 27 years,
Right, of course.
but it's been amazing. It's been amazing.
Well, that's such good. You're gonna get some brownie points when your husband watches this episode. He'll be like, "Oh, baby, you talked about me like that. You
Oh,
built me up
goodness.
like that as a kid on the Kim Jacobs show." I'm gonna buy you something for that, sweetie. Okay? You're like, no, I'll just take another massage alone.
There you
Just
go.
just give me my massage in my alone time, my me.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's awesome. So, what do you want readers to walk away learning from your book, Invisible but
Oh, I want readers to walk away with uh, the message that you are not alone. You don't have to suffer in silence. And know that God has already equipped you with so much power. You just got to tap into Him, and allow Him to reveal that. And the book is different. That is a different devotional book because it includes meditation. So I always say prayer is when you talk to God.
Mhm.
Meditation is when He talks to you. And
Mm.
it's when you sit still and you just think about what you just read and you just receive.
Yes, yes, yes.
And that's what I want them to take away what you already have inside of you, just release it.
That's great, great, great. Because if we don't be intentional about being prayerful and meditating and being
Mhm.
able to hear and be poured into by God, then I don't I really don't even know how we can function.
Right.
For me, I
Right.
cannot function without that.
I mean, can you imagine just talking and there's no listening?
That's a one-way conversation and you're
It's
not
a
gonna get
one-way
it out.
conversation, but that's what people do all the time. They just pray, but they don't know how to listen and hear
That's right.
what God is telling them or
Because he
even
is telling
receive.
us stuff. We just
He
have
is
to
telling.
lean in and hear what is it, Lord? Because
Lean in and
am I heavy?
hear. Right. And more importantly, be it's not even going to be what you want to do. What he tells you is most of the time I don't want to do it. Writing this book is I'm not a writer. I'm a scientist. I don't want to write, but all he like I said, he used to wake me up at 3 in the morning. 3 in the morning for 3 days straight. And I'm like, I don't know why I'm up, but I can't sleep.
Mhm,
And on that third day, it's something about that third day.
mhm.
But on that third day, that's when he said, you have been chosen. And it wasn't a year later. It
Mm,
wasn't until a year later that he gave me the title of the book.
mm. Wow.
And not only the title, he gave me the whole format of how he wanted it to be.
Mm. Yeah, okay. You cannot miss the opportunity to get a copy of this book in your library, not just to sit on a shelf, but to be able to formally apply it to your life. And I see comments that came in, so I want to make sure we acknowledge you all. Oh, Kim and Dylan. Hey. They love that.
Oh.
And you can see now Kimberly wasn't smiling that hard where she was showing her back teeth until you put Dylan up there, right? Now all of a sudden it's like I see some way back in the it's a deep big smile. So Dr. Tina J. Ramsey is on too, and she actually is the founder. Remember, I was telling you we stream in also 100 countries, and she's
Hmm.
the founder of that of the organization CTR Media Network.
Oh,
Of that,
nice.
yeah.
Nice.
Glad to have you, Dr. Tina. TL says that's material for your
Oh,
movie. I'm pointing to two yes.
oh no.
Crystal said, just do it. Just do it. Everybody's
Mm,
typing, just do it. Thank you all so much for
mm.
participating. The book launch was amazing. Okay, I see all of your comments, and y'all have been such an active studio audience today. Let me also let you know that if any episode of the Kim Jacobs Show has helped your household, where we're able to help you bring better balance into your house, then please make sure that you partner with us and that you donate to the Kim Jacobs Show. And do it like right when you get done with the show. Then that way you don't forget about it. Be like, let me make a note of it, and I'm just gonna go ahead and donate to the Kim Jacobs Show. And then it'd be like a whole month. It'd be Christmas, and then you'd be like, oh, I've never listened. I'm just make sure you donate to partner with us. We will do a shout out to you as well, just saying thank you. And we appreciate your contributions. We're on Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we are bringing balance to the world one household at a time. So thank you all so much for tuning in. Any closing comments, Kimberly?
Oh, wow. It just seemed like this time went by so fast.
Say anything
Oh,
that you didn't get a chance that you wanted to say. You're like, oh, I meant to say this, or I wanted to say that. Go ahead,
oh,
say some stuff.
no, I don't know. I guess I just, like you said, you've already encouraged those to buy the book. I think it's more important that you all are encouraged by the book. Um, when I went to the show in Atlantic City, the vendor show, the woman was drawn to it, and she just opened up the book. She just opened up one lesson, and she said, "Well, this applies to me. The power of believing." I didn't even. I was struggling with that. So you have this. It's all about you and God. It's a personal relationship. It's a personal relationship, and that's all I want to do. And through this book is for you to see yourself in God through God's eyes. That's it.
Yeah, see yourself through God's eyes. I have a friend. Her name is Ruth Kent, actually, and she gave me this, and I have it sitting on my desk, and it says,
Oh, nice.
"Me to see myself the way that you see me."
Yes.
I just think that is just so inspiring.
Yes.
Help me to see
Yes.
myself the way you see me, so I can imagine and live in the blessings that you have in store for me.
Yeah. There are so many women who think they're unattractive, or they're always trying to do more for themselves and do the surgeries. You're beautiful the way you are. God has already gifted you with so much power. It's
I
just
agree.
tapping into it.
I agree. Oh my gosh, how soothing this has been. I feel like I was at the spa. So I don't know. I'm like, to go live for another hour. Like what? I even work today in this resort.
Oh my goodness, it was so good to speak with you.
I enjoyed it so much, Kimberly. Yeah, great. Okay. I don't know. I know you go on a lot of different shows and different things, but how was your experience coming here on the Kim Jacobs Show?
You know, I told you I was a planner. So I wanted to ask you about, what questions do I have? Like, I like to prepare and ahead of time. But this was like talking to my girlfriend. It's like so like laid back. I enjoyed it, Kim. I really, and then it's like talking to another Kim.
No, literally another Kim. How can it be? How can it be?
Right, right. Yeah, I loved it. This was very different. It's very different. I loved it.
Well, if you're interested as well in being on the Kim Jacobs Show yourself, anyone, all you have to do is just send your story, your email, and tell us a little bit about what you would be doing to help bring balance to the world. You can email kimjacobsshow@gmail.com. We love to hear your story because we all have stories. Each and every one of us have a story that we've lived. It's not just like no Lifetime movie. It's real events. It is real events. And actually, Lifetime actually does based on real events too, many times. So share your stories, and we'd be happy to consider you as a guest on the Kim Jacobs Show. All right. I have truly enjoyed ourselves, and I thank you all so much in the studio audience for tuning in today. And make sure that you all get a copy of what? Everybody should be typing it. Tell everybody again how they can get a copy.
Invisible but Powerful. The book is available on Amazon.
Right. So y'all make sure you head over to Amazon and get your copy today and support this author, Kimberly Kiner. I keep saying Kiner. I'm
Kiner.
going to put that L in there. Kimberly Kiner, and you will be blessed. Just from how I feel already, I know that you'll be tremendously blessed. I feel better just by
And
this.
and I do have one more thing. We do have a Facebook page, IBP Book, but we also have Invisible but Powerful group. So anyone who wants to join in, feel free to join. It is private, but we are willing to include anyone who wants to join the group. And we also have a monthly chat. We started Women's Month.
Okay.
We talk about the themes of the book, and it has the scriptures that are pertinent to the book.
That's good. So you
Yeah.
don't have any reason not to stay connected with Kimberly. She's giving you all kinds of ways to make sure that you don't feel invisible. So if you're out there in life and you're on an island by yourself, you're choosing to be on an island by yourself because you don't have to be. When you have people like Kimberly coming right here on the Kim Jacobs Show saying, ooh, 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 I want to help. She's led women ministries. She's led abuse groups that have with traumatic experiences. So even if you don't do anything else but connect with her by reaching out, how do they reach out to you directly on Facebook?
There's the IBP book
Okay.
on Facebook, and then I do have an author page. I think I put it in the chat.
Author page. Where is that?
It's the
Landing page. Okay. So I'm going to put this
page.
because I'm trying to make sure you have a way that you can directly get
Directly.
Kimberly. And so her author landing page, I just put here in the comment section. And for those of you that are on audio, for those of you that are on, that's a bunch of numbers. Okay. Y'all, if you're on audio, you're going to need to go over to my video Facebook or LinkedIn or something and get this landing page. You'll see it right on the screen of this particular episode. Okay. Because you don't want to miss connecting with her, because you might be able to get some resources that can help you as you go through this journey of life of feeling invisible. But you're not. It's an illusion. It's an illusion. You're not invisible at all. You're very much seen, but you just need to be able to know what resources are available to help pull you out of that funk. Okay?
Beautiful.
All right, everybody. Thank you, Kimberly, for being here. Stay backstage, if you will. Thank you in the studio audience. I absolutely love all of you all, and I'll see you again tomorrow at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Kim Jacobs Show. Say a closing comment, Kimberly, and we're going to close out.
Bring balance to the world, one household at a time.
There you have it. You can't close any better than that.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Kim Jacobs Show and for being in the virtual studio audience. Your presence truly does make a difference, and I look forward to you bringing your friends and family to join you in the virtual studio audience Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I look forward to seeing you and make it a great day.